Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the PeaBrain podcast where we talk about all things PVZ. We talk about BFN. We talk about Garden Warfare 2. We talk about whatever it is Plants versus Zombies. I do want to say thank you for the support on this podcast. These couple of episodes, we have been smashing it with the support, and you guys have been amazing. We have got another very special guest here today. We have got Finn with me right now. He is on the call with me. First of all, Finn, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Took a
Uh,
while to set up, but we've
yes, we got
finally
there in the end.
record.
We got there in the end.
We got that.
Um, so yeah, we you know how this goes. I'll ask you a couple questions. I want to talk about your Plants versus Zombies background, and we'll go from there. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, cool. Obviously, the first question I like to ask people at the start of these episodes is how did you get into Plants vs. Zombies in general? Where did you start?
Well, I've always like when I was little, I downloaded Plants vs Zombies 1 on my phone or my tablet, but never really took that seriously. Always played for a couple rounds and deleted it because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Then at the release of Garden Warfare 2, I was playing at my cousin's, and I was 10, I think, a really long time ago. And he bought the game, he pre-ordered it, and he really liked it. I really liked it, and I got home and I said, "Mom, I want to buy this game. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna buy it."
I don't care what you
Uh,
say.
so so I bought it, and I've basically been playing ever since. Didn't play Garden Warfare 1, of course, played BFN. That game was terrible, but Garden Warfare 2 has always been one of my favorite games ever. Took some breaks, but whatever. I'm still playing it right now to this day. So
that's
yeah,
that's pretty good. I know you hit max rank on your main account of Garden Warfare 2. You also have a second account as well.
I do. I do.
How are you doing on that? Have you been leveling up?
Yeah, I've been leveling up. I think 32nd rank play right now. So
Nice.
I do want to get to max rank on this account as well. I've recently met some very nice Dutch people. So and we've been playing pretty much every day. It's just been really fun, and I always liked playing Garden Warfare 2 with other people more than playing it by myself.
Yeah.
Uh, I think you can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%.
So it
100%.
just makes it a lot easier, and I can play for a lot longer now, which makes me get more levels.
No, that's awesome. One thing I will say about rank 32 you said is that's yellow rank, isn't it?
It's yellow, yeah.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, yellow. So who have you characters you've been playing recently?
Um, well, pretty much everyone. I've been trying to level up all characters a bit evenly, so I don't have like a whole class to do at the end.
Yeah.
So every character is leveled up at least a bit. I don't
Okay.
have all my characters are at least specialist, but most of them are advanced or elite or super elite. So I like just play everything that I just play the characters that I want to play at that moment. I can't play an all-star for 3 hours straight or stay with a soldier or a pea shooter. I
Yeah,
always like
that's
to switch it
crazy.
up. Makes
Yeah.
the game more fun.
I respect
So,
that.
but I've been recently really enjoying Motocross Star. I don't know why. I always thought he was really terrible. Then I started playing him. I don't even have all the upgrades for him yet, but he's I'm really liking him.
Yeah, I must admit a lot of people don't enjoy motocross. I've always found him useful because he can disable people's abilities without even using anything to do that. It's just his weapon in general. And that to
Yeah, exactly.
me is awesome. You know, I feel like it's a great way of just shutting down anything they can do, and they have to hit you head on or just with their regular attack. They can't just use an ability
hmm
or something like that. And I mean, you could even does it slow down their movement as well?
I think it does a little bit,
A
but
little bit. It's
not
not a
not
huge
that
amount.
much.
I was about to say, could you imagine if it did, and you could just use an imp hunt? It's kind of like a goop that
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
broken.
that would have been
Um,
disgusting.
I remember when I first played motocross, I felt kind of the same way. It was very low damage input, and I was like, I don't know. But if you think about it, it's not always about how much they hit; it's about how quick they hit. And motocross, I would think, is one of the quicker fire rates of all the All Stars. I mean,
Yeah, and
him and
of
Goalie
course she hit
Star.
like three
Sorry,
damage.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say him, Goalie Star, and Hockey Star are the ones that I like to play myself. So
Hmm. Golfstar also shoots like really fast. It's
yeah.
actually crazy.
What was you gonna say?
No, yeah, motocross star like a direct hit does like three damage,
Hmm.
but also you also have like this little splash. So when you hit the ground, you do like an extra two damage. So its rate of fire, so its DPS is much higher than you're led to believe.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had splash damage. Oh,
Yeah,
there
you
we
can
go.
shoot the ground and you still hit them.
Oh, there we go. I learned
It
something
does
new.
less, but it still does damage.
That's pretty cool. I didn't. He's probably the only All Star with splash damage, isn't he? Or Rugby
Now I
Star.
think Rugby Star has splash
Yeah.
damage as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't actually know that. Um. No. Speaking of Garden Warfare 2, uh, do you remember your first legendary character?
My first, I think, was Disco Jumper.
Oh, it's the same as me. Okay, fair enough.
Besides the party characters, because I unlocked those on my main account really fast because I
Yeah.
just really liked Infinity Time back then. But out of just the packs, I think it was Disco Jumper.
Okay. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have Disco Jumper as their first one. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the game just doesn't want to give anyone else to any of us. But speaking of characters in general, if you had to pick a favorite and a least favorite on both sides, who would you pick?
Well, my least favorite on plants instantly goes to Alien Flower.
Alien
I
Flower.
don't know
Okay.
why. Yeah, I just really like her gimmick, and since I really like Turf as well, and most other sunflowers are just kind of boring, I guess. Maybe Missing Flower is also really fun.
Okay.
I know I just really like Alien Flower. I don't know what it is. I just really like her. I can play her a lot and not get bored of her,
That is
but I
good.
do get with other characters. Least favorite on plants, it's definitely not a chomper because those are like they are fun. Yeah, they're just fun, but not really good, but they're still fun.
Okay.
Um, I think if I'm gonna have to give an answer, I think I'm gonna give it to Camo Cactus
Ooh.
because
Okay.
I or Toxic Citron, one of the two, because I think they're both not really that good. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Toxic Citron just
Fair
because
enough.
Camel Cactus is still relatively good in turf, and Toxic Citron is just bad in every game what there is. So
Toxic Citron
he's
is
just
assist master.
yeah. And
That's what I
I
like.
always like to go for high kill games, and I'm not gonna get those with Toxic Citron.
No,
Gonna
no,
get
hundred
assist
percent.
after assist after assist. So
Well, speaking of the zombie side here for a second, funny enough, you actually inspired me to give Astronaut another try.
I did.
You did. I put off Astronaut for a long time. I used to play him a lot in Garden Warfare 1. And for some reason in Garden Warfare 2, I just never found him the same. But as of the past couple of times I have played him, I've really enjoyed it. So credit to you there. You've actually given me a second chance at that character. I know you
Yeah,
use him
well, he
quite a
is
bit.
really fun.
So what about the zombie side, if you had to pick?
Um, I have two favorites. One of them is Astronaut,
Yeah.
and the other one is probably Super Commando, just because he's
Yeah.
just insanely good.
He's just the best. He's just the best.
I played on my main account yesterday, like one game for to go eat dinner.
Yeah.
And I was with a couple mates of mine, and I played Super Commando for one round on turf, Seeds of Time, and I dropped like 90 kills first game on. He
Ooh.
hadn't played him for months, and
See,
so he's just
sometimes
disgustingly good.
sometimes it's good when you don't play a character for months because as much as it's not a game where you forget how to play the characters, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like these other games like Overwatch and stuff like that. There's a lot of them that you're like, oh, I have to relearn them. But I feel like with Garden Warfare 2, even if you don't play, said, I don't know, Super Commando or any other character for ages, you can just go straight back on and you'll still do really, really well. So it's always nice.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I agree with both of those favourites. I think they're both solid. I'm a Super Commando fanboy. I always have been. Myself since Garden Warfare 1. What about your least favourite zombie?
So, well, there's a few.
There's a
I think
few.
a
Oh,
specific
okay.
character, the well, I guess an entire class. I It's going to be a hot take, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but I despise superheroes. They're good. Don't get me wrong, they're really good. I just don't like them. I don't like their play styles, all the broken mechanics you can use. I would rather prefer just a character, a zombie that has just a primary fire and a machine gun that I can laser people down with.
So, any super brains you're not really a fan of?
I'm just not. I just don't like playing them.
Fair enough.
They're good, and I've maxed them all on my main, of course. I've almost maxed them all on my second account, just because I want to get them out of the way as soon
Yeah,
as possible, so I don't have to play them anymore.
yeah.
And I'll give an honest mention to Road Easy because I just don't like the character as well. Basically, it's the same superhero. It's got like a point blank, get in someone's face the whole time, be able to kill someone. I just don't like it.
I respect that. No, I it's weird because on other games I really enjoy melee kind of builds and stuff like that. But on Garden Warfare 2, it's just not the same with any super brains for me. That I respect all those people that is sit there and learn the combos and stuff like that. But for me, it's just not my slice of the cake. To be honest, I'd rather do what you said and play with someone else. But I do think Super Brains is nice to have because it gives that option of people that do want to play a melee, and it kind of just breaks it up a tiny bit from the whole constantly using a weapon. Um,
Yeah,
and like I said, I do agree. He is fun. I must admit he is fun, but it's just not my play style. So it is one of those classes that I also tried to get out of the way when I was leveling up. Especially Electro Brains, a little bit underpowered. It's not easy to try and do well with him. It is a little bit difficult. And then you've got the others like Cosmic, Toxic, and stuff like that. That just well, they're gonna try and carry your ass with all of their special modes and stuff like that. So there is a different mix of them. Rody Z, you mentioned there, very interesting. I'm not a fan of Rody Z myself. Uh, Speaking of Rody Z, do you think the character would be played as much as it has if there was no exploit?
you mean like the trigger
Yeah.
finger
Do you think if that wasn't a
button mashing
thing,
thing?
do you think he would even get played?
Well, I think you do you have the same thing with jumpers because spray jumps you can also do that thing with.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I always before that mechanic was like discovered, I always saw a lot of people using him because it's just like it was a really cheesy character.
Yeah,
So I think people still use it, maybe less now that they know that if the exploit got fixed, that oh he was really good, but now he's less good, so I'm not gonna play him anymore.
yeah,
But if it never existed, I think people still play him.
yeah. Fair. I give you that. I give you that. Um, Moving on from Garden Warfare 2, quickly. It is your birthday today, for those who don't know.
It is my birthday, yes.
Um, First of all, happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing time.
Thank you.
Uh, do you have any? Okay, I'll tell you what. Actually, I asked this question to the other guests. If you could pick a game, any of the games, if you could add an update, what would you add?
Well, the only game I play
So
right
it would
now
be Garden Warfare 2.
that's not being updated, it's Garden Warfare 2. Yeah.
So what would you add or remove? Actually, either of the two.
Um, that's a really hard question. I haven't really thought about it.
It's a tough one.
Well, um, I think I'll definitely do balance changes.
Okay, I like that.
Um, because I think a lot of characters are just really underpowered in comparison to more good characters.
Okay.
And we need to give everyone some equal love. So, except EP, EP can go die. Maybe we could delete
Okay.
that character for good.
Okay. A lot of VP fans out there. I know there is. Um,
I refuse to believe that there are any EP fans. And if you do, go see a therapist.
well, there you have it. Finn is against the EP movement. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm for it. I'm not against it either. I just don't think the character belongs in that game, personally. Um, that's good though. I like that answer. You kind of put a big stamp on EP there, but you came up with a regular answer, which was just balance changes in general. I feel like even if they weren't updating the game with actual new content, I feel like the least they could have done is just keep up to date with the balance changes. Uh, there's like you said, there's a lot of underpowered characters, there's a lot of overpowered characters, and the game is definitely different to the way it was when it first started. But would you consider it better?
When it first started, in some things yes, other things no. Um, like I don't know if you remember the OP Turbo Twister
I do,
phase.
I do. Yep,
Yeah, like they changed that. That's a really good thing.
yep,
Um, it's less good in a way that it's just not being controlled. Like uh, I don't. I'm speaking spot. I'm speaking for PC players here. I've been hearing a lot about this like ban thing
yep.
that scripters are banning random people. I would
Okay,
like it would have been better if there was at least a better anti-cheat than there is now, because people on PC are just getting hackers every single game.
I agree.
And I think that was a lot less when they were still managing the game, EA themselves.
Okay, have you ever played PC version, or do you know people that do?
No, and I think this is exactly the reason why.
Okay,
Besides the fact that I don't have a PC, so
yeah. I've never touched it myself. I could if I wanted to, but from what I've heard, it's probably best if I don't. Um, I must admit, as much as it would be fun to play with all the different mods and stuff like that, I sometimes do feel very honored to be on console when it comes to a game like that, because like you said, there's no development team to try and fix it. There's no solid, anti-cheat thing in place. It's kind of just freedom and people just doing what they want with the whole mod cheat thing. I feel
mm,
like it can get out of hand.
yeah.
Um, I remember. Did you hear about the what was it called? It was like it was an incident not long ago where people were just like getting their stats deleted or levels reset or something like that, or something along those
Uh,
lines. I can't
uh,
remember what it
I don't
was.
can't really remember either. I saw a video a couple of days ago of people they actually could rewrite scripts of the game themselves. So
Okay,
they would choose a random gamer tag that you needed your ID EA ID tag, such as your username,
yeah,
and they would set your level to 46, specifically 46, because you can only get when the character is maxed out, it's basically level 45, not
yeah,
50. Most people get that wrong, but it's 45. And when you get level 46, the game bugs out and kicks you out. So basically, it locks you out of multiplayer.
yeah. That
So
was that is not good.
yeah, and that's the thing that's been going on right now. And they just need your gamer tag. That's the only thing they need.
Hmm. I must admit,
So if
I
there was a better anti-cheat, I think it could be fixed.
yeah,
But just
I
EA, just
agree.
I think they don't care.
No, I don't think it's a thing that nobody should be witnessing, especially new players. Imagine if you're a new player, you see the game, you're like, oh, this looks fantastic. You play PC version and you see something like that happen to someone, or it happens to you, that will turn you away from the game instantly. And that's never good on any game. When people just get instantly turned away because of people like that. It's not easy to to witness it to any of your friends or just go through it yourself. I've been lucky to not have experienced anything like that, even on console. It's a lot harder on console, obviously, but I personally think it's bad that there's nothing like that in play, like you said. So,
Yeah.
uh, obviously you do play a lot of Garden Warfare 2, but speaking of games here, I you mentioned earlier that you're not a fan of BFM.
Yeah, when the game first released, I was really excited. Like, oh, Garden Warfare 3, everyone was excited for
Yeah, I was
BFN.
I was excited. I was as well. I'll admit it.
So I actually bought the game with that same cousin I got Garden Warfare 2 from. Um, and we really enjoyed it the first couple months.
Yeah.
But then, like, a couple things already started getting annoying that they refused to fix until very later, like sprinting. It was
I
just
can't. I can't.
so annoying.
I can't deal with sprinting on that game.
There were a lot of benefits of the game. Like it's fresh, new characters,
Story mode was fun.
just
I like
new.
that.
Yeah, the PvE was really good. That's the only thing I'll give them
Yeah.
completely. The PvE was really good. Um, but yeah, the benefits of the game were very outweighed by the bad things about the game, the
Yeah.
downsides.
Do you think that there's definitely more bad things than good? I would say.
Yeah,
Um, the funny thing is, I have the same reaction when I saw the trailer. I saw it and I was like, oh, I love Plants vs Zombies. Pretty much all the games that came out have been really good fun. I was excited, and I don't know what it was. I didn't play BFN for a good while. I think I watched gameplay first, and then I was like, actually, I don't know. It wasn't how I expected it to be, and obviously I tried it out myself a couple times. Eventually, I just had enough. There was a lot of things that I didn't like in the game as well. I feel like me and you got a very similar mindset there. There was some good things about it that we did enjoy, but there was a couple of things that we just did not enjoy.
yeah.
So if do you think if they did it differently? I know BFN came out on a Nintendo Switch. Apparently that was quite decent compared to the console version. Do you think if they led with that version of the game on the Switch before the console, do you think it would have been different?
Um, mm, I think it would have. I think the good things would have lasted a little bit longer than the bad things. It's all because BFN Switch also had its downsides.
Yeah,
Um, but like it's just people's natural order to complain about things. So
that's
there's
true.
always something bad. There's always something not good about the game, and it takes a miracle to make almost everyone happy
Yeah,
about one video game, about one thing.
yeah, fully agree with you there. Basically a regular conversation in most games nowadays. People expect it to be hands down great every time. Even with movies and everything else, people expect it to be great, and when it isn't, it, a lot of people
Yeah.
disagree, and like you said, there's always gonna be people that are complaining. There's a lot of people that complain about Garden Warfare 2. There's a lot of people that complain about other Plants vs Zombies games. Even PVZ 3. I don't know if you played that on the
No, I
mobile
haven't.
phone. I know a lot of people didn't like that. It was very much the same as BFN. It was completely different to the game prior, and I mentioned this before. I feel like another reason why PVZ 3, similar to BFN, struggled so much was because that PVZ 2 is still getting updated, and it's still a game that has been played a lot. So I feel like another game wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I think with BFN, for example, Garden Warfare 1 was good.
Hmm.
Garden Warfare 2 was even better, like almost to perfection.
Yeah,
And then they decided to make BFN. And I think people expected it to live up to the legacy of Garden Warfare 2 or be even better than that. But
yeah,
there was no way it could have been better.
yeah, hundred
Like
percent.
where you have it's the same with movies. Like the first movie of a certain thing can be good, and the second movie of the franchise is even better, and people expect the third one to be even better. but then it's just a little bit worse, and people make like a big thing about it, and then in the whole picture, it's really bad. But it's still like enjoyable, the film, but it wasn't as good as the second one, so it was bad.
In a weird way, it kind of reminds me of a little bit off topic here is the Marvel universe at the moment. You know,
Yeah.
we had Infinity War, we had Endgame. It set the bar so high, and then everything after that, apart from
Hmm.
Deadpool Wolverine, it was just a major flop because everyone had such high expectations of it being on that level in the future every time. You know, I feel like it was very much in that kind of
Yeah.
case with Garden Warfare 1 and 2. You know, you got Garden Warfare 1, which is nostalgia. You got number 2, which is just everything we loved but better. But BFM was just in its own category, and like I've mentioned before, I don't know about what you think, but change isn't always good. You know, I
No.
they didn't need another game in my opinion. They could have quite easily just kept Garden Warfare 2 running, kept it smoothly on the servers, make it more stable, maybe add Oak or someone else like 80s and an update. You know, they could have expanded on it, but I feel like in a weird way they kind of went, yeah, maybe we need another cash grab, and clearly in BFN's case it wasn't that at all.
Well, it's
So,
still EA, right?
oh yes, yeah, 100%, yeah. EA is known for that quite a lot, with a bunch of other games. Um, what about the mobile games? Do you play any of those?
No, no. I much rather prefer the shooters.
Fair enough. Is there a reason why? Do you just you've always been a console person
Um.
or
Well, yes, that, and I just don't. I really have no mobile games on my phone. I just don't like mobile games in general.
okay? No, I respect that. There's a
So
couple of people like
it
that.
it,
Yeah,
it do- it doesn't just go for Plants vs Zombies. It just goes for everything. I just don't like it on my phone. I just don't like games on my phone.
it's not for everybody. I must admit, it's not for everybody. Well, I do want to bring up something here. Um, Obviously there was an event on Garden Warfare 2 recently. I'm pretty sure you heard about it. Uh,
Hmm.
did you take part? And if you did or didn't, what do you think about it?
Like the Fiesta event, you mean?
Yeah, if you asked it event.
Yeah, I wasn't at home when that day.
Okay.
I was occupied the entire day. I really wanted to play, because I just wanted to see how full the lobbies would be, how many new players there would be.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I didn't have the time.
How did
And
do
I
do do you
think,
think it was a good idea?
yeah, I think it was. It's like on console, the idea was pretty meaningless because it was all for EA to see how many people could actually play the game or still playing the game.
Yeah.
And when you look at console like PlayStation and Xbox, you don't see the live player count, but you can see it on PC like Steam stats.
Yeah.
You can see how many people are playing the game currently. So for PC, it was really helpful, I think, because if there were enough players, I think it would have grabbed EA's attention, or maybe like going on a community manager or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or I hope it did. But I think on console it was kind of meaningless.
I think that's a fair point. I feel like PC has a better chance of reaching out than console does.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean give up on console. You never know, do you? At the end of the day, but I also I didn't take part in the event. A lot of people did message me about it. I was busy myself with other games at the time. Uh, I've broken down what I think about it a lot. Um, do you think now that it has happened, do you think they have took it into consideration? You know, because a while back they did bring up a post somewhere online that they might do more updates. Do you think they actually considered it or
No.
no? All right, straight no. I like that. I like that.
No, I think the idea was good, but when you look at a corporation like EA that makes billions and billions of dollars every month. Not like every month, but because they
They
all,
make a lot
they
of
have like
money.
they have FC 25, they have NBA 2K, they have all these sports games and every other game, and then they are played by millions and millions of people that make millions and millions of dollars every day, and you look and you have sad little Garden Warfare 2 with 10,000 current players making zero money,
That is a
and
very fair argument, actually. That is
so
just,
I think even if you brought it up to like 100,000 players, 200,000 players, the game doesn't generate that much money anymore.
hmm
Not enough for EA to like get a new development team, pay their salaries with the money that Garden Warfare 2 brings in.
yeah.
Um, I just don't think there's enough income for EA to care.
That is very true. That is a very good point. They've got obviously the brand new FIFA. They've got all of these sports games coming out, like you said, every single year. Not to mention all of the spin-off games that they do on the side. And you know why? Now that you've said that, I kind of sit here and go, you know what? Yeah, that's a good point. Why would they bother with something that's not really gonna make them much money and stuff like that? You know, it feels like they're just, I don't know, filling up a hole with water and then just blocking it all up again. There's just no ending, no happy ending at least. I know a lot of people would like updates, but you know, do you think there comes to a point where we've got to be realistic about it?
Um, I think it's always good to be optimistic
Yeah,
because you never know when it's going to be another community post of some manager of EA that's
that's true.
taken notice of the game. I think it's always good to have hope, but yeah, you need to be realistic and just be prepared that the game is gonna stay how it is right now.
Yeah.
And
So you said staying right now. A very simple question: do you think Garden Warfare 3 will ever happen
no,
within our lifetime at any point?
well, like the entire PVZ trend is just kind of go like in a downhill.
Yeah.
Things are getting less popular, so I think mere in a very far future, there could be a game like Garden Warfare 2, but I think
Okay.
it won't be like plans for Zombies Garden Warfare 3. After like 50 years of waiting,
Yeah.
uh, it could be a similar type of game with just a
Similar
new brand.
concept. Yeah. What happened? I've also thought about this quite a lot. What happens if, I don't know, let's just say a company doesn't, you know, they're not going to buy the franchise from EA because you know, they might not be able to afford it. But what happens if EA decide to try and sell it off to, I don't know, maybe a small team or a smaller company that are hungry, that are full of developers that are passionate? Do you think that would be a good move for them?
Um, yes, but it depends on who you sell it to. Because if you sell it to just another big corporation that only cares about money,
Mm-hmm.
then it's just kind of it's the exact same way.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing's going to change in the long run. But if you have a select few people with computer skills and software engineering skills that can alter code of a game,
Mm-hmm.
then I think um, uh, I think it could be good to, if the game got into those hands,
Yeah.
especially if they actually listen to the community. Because I don't think I've known a single game developer that actually listens to the community.
Yeah.
Um, I think you could bring this game back to its former glory.
That is a good point. Yeah, one thing I liked about PopCap when they were around is like you said, they weren't so big in terms of, you know, popularity, or you know, they just want money. They were passionate about the games. You know, they they loved the franchise. You know, this was one of their best ideas for a game, and it clearly took off over the years. And you know, I do get a little bit upset when you know, I remember that they don't really exist anymore. You know, they had so much drive behind them, not just with Plants vs Zombies, with other games they had as well. And you know, just to see them just kind of just disappear, and now it's in the hands of a company that just don't really have any interest. It's kind of sad,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Just PopCap, Plants vs. Zombies like PopCap's baby.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
created it, and but for Garden Warfare 2 and Garden Warfare 1 to make such a big game
yeah. It
with a
really
lot of
took off.
coding, you need the investment of a bigger company.
Yeah,
So yeah, they rang EA's doorbell and hey, hook us up with some money. You can have half the shares or something. I don't know. You can have your name on the game and you can help us.
yeah.
And after a few years, I think EA bought it out, or bought it off PopCap, and yeah, PopCap just ceased to exist, and EA let the game die.
Unfortunately, that is very much the case. With a lot of game companies in general, they like these days. A lot of them, there's nothing wrong with trying to go big and make it better, but sometimes it is a very risky move, and I feel like in this case it was for Plants vs Zombies. Garden Warfare 3 would be great, but even just other games or PvZ in general, or just anything in PvZ in general, they could make a TV show or a movie, let's say, or they might do another comic book somewhere or anything in PvZ related. Do you think that EA has some sort of like chokehold around the entire franchise, not just the games itself?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
I think Plants vs. Zombies is just EA's now.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't think the Plants vs. Zombies franchise is gonna live any longer. Don't think there are any new games. No Plants vs. Zombies 4. No Plants vs. Zombies Heroes 2. No Garden Warfare 3.
yeah. It really does suck because I was pretty big on Garden Warfare 1 when PopCap was around. This was way before EA even decided to even get involved. And I remember just seeing how passionate the community was back then, on the very first shooter game with the consoles. It was so much fun. They were getting out these brand new characters and brand new maps and everything. Everyone was talking. All of these big YouTubers that no longer even do YouTube or play other games nowadays. It's a completely different time, and it's a scary feeling. It's a sad feeling, but it's also a good feeling all in one. I do wish the best for this franchise, but in the hands of a company like EA, it's not going to be easy to just sweep it under the carpet.
Exactly.
Anyway, I appreciate you being here, man. That was a great conversation there. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
no, it's all good. I am
It was really
glad we
fun being
got
here.
into the thick of the whole franchise being sold and stuff like that. I felt like you was made some good points there.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this type of things for a long time.
I feel like a lot of us have. There's a lot of people out there that want to see this franchise just keep doing better, but there does come a point where maybe enough's enough, and we just let the whole franchise just you know live on in our memories as a good franchise and not turn into a bad one.
Yeah,
But no, man.
exactly. Just keep what you have.
Exactly, and I feel like a lot of people are. I'm glad that the community is still passionate about it. There's not many old communities these days that tend to stick around, but it's good to have you here on the PeaBrain podcast, and I really appreciate you swinging by and having a conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad I could be a part of it.
Oh, all good, man. I'm sure you've got big plans for the rest of your birthday, so I will let you skedaddle. Thank you for being here once again, and be sure to stay safe, bro. I appreciate it.
I will. I will. You too.
All right, peace. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the PeaBrain podcast episode wrapped up. Thank you to Finn for joining, absolute legend. We had some great conversations there talking about PVZ franchise being sold to EA and stuff like that. If you are interested in joining the PeaBrain podcast in the future, let me know in the comments of this video. Be sure to hit me up on Discord, and that way we can record your episode as soon as possible. Drop a like if you did enjoy it, subscribe if you're new, and be sure to check out all the other episodes of the PeaBrain podcast. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Stay hydrated, keep on gaming, and peace.